TNA, AMC, Mike Santana is champion again. Let's talk about it.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Hey, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mark It Down podcast. I am James Gisanti. It is Thursday night, so you know what that means. We are in the Gym Pack Zone, where we cover all things TNA Impact. This is it. This is what we've been building towards. This is what we've been waiting for. We are now in the TNA on AMC era. We are now Thursday Night Impact on AMC. And you could tell the production value was up quite a bit. There was an attempt, and we'll get into it, to make it feel like a big deal. They brought out some AMC stars for this. All in all, I'm happy and excited for TNA. We're going to talk about the show. We're going to talk about the logistics of how everything went down, and we're going to talk about some technical difficulties, which there were. How, guys? I get it if it was your first show on the new streaming service that wasn't working. The streaming service part wasn't working. That I'd understand. But TNA Plus has been your thing for years. How do you go down for 15 minutes on that? Now, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to, say there was something nefarious at play. But convenient that on the first night where they're trying to get people into the new era, where they're trying to get them on AMC, AMC Plus, the TNA app is the one that goes down for a while. Very interesting. If you don't have cable or if you don't have AMC Plus, you're not a subscriber to that. You were out of luck for roughly 15 minutes. I luckily was able to transfer over. I was able to make the move, the jump from TNA Plus to AMC, which I pretty much stayed the rest of the night, even though the stream came back for TNA. But very interesting that happened. A bummer. You don't want, as everyone is excited for the prospect, the future of what's next for TNA, you don't want people saying, instead of TNA AMC, you don't want people saying LOL TNA. Let's just start the show up. Normally, I know when we do AEW, when we do other shows, we sometimes start with the main event. But I feel like there was a thread throughout the night of certain things, so we'll get there. And this is going to be a quick review, guys, because I'll be honest with you, I'm very tired. I feel like I haven't slept in days, but this is too big to not talk about. So we start the show with the phenomenal one himself, AJ Styles. In the ring, coming out to his old TNA theme music, which got a huge pop out of everybody. It got a pop out of me. TNA hyped up the crowd. He talked about how special TNA is to him, how special TNA is in general. And, it was a warm-up spot. I know we're all hoping and waiting and really praying that AJ does something in TNA sooner than later, have a match, go for a title, but I don't know if that's in the cards. At the very least, it's been nice to see him come back and help with this transition, this WWE TNA transition, help establish TNA, help TNA feel like a bigger deal. So good on AJ, and it worked. The crowd was hype. They were hyped to see him. They were hyped to hear the music, and they were just happy that he was there. in the comments. What up, Maria? How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a good one. Guys, because Maria's here, I can talk about it. I forgot about it to start with it. We are doing the giveaway. We are doing that giveaway we mentioned last night on our Dynamite review. We hyped it up on social media today, and we got some good responses all over the different platforms. But we are extending it through Saturday. It didn't feel right to just honor tonight, especially because we did get so many good responses a little bit later in the day. We're going to continue it through Saturday. So if you're one of our regulars, or if you're somebody who commented here like Maria just did, automatically entered into winning into the prize package that we're giving away: the TNA t-shirt, TNA baseball cap, and the Jeff Hardy autograph. So Maria, you're now one of several, so I'm happy. Oh, and Chris Leclerc, how you doing, Chris? Welcome back. I'm happy. We're gonna get into it. Absolutely, we're gonna get into it. So just give it a moment. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy too in regards to that. And Maria's right. AJ was the perfect person to open up Impact. He is such a foundational person to the company. He's such a foundational person to the brand that if an old guard member was going to do it, he was the right guy to do it. So really happy to see AJ back. You guys know the deal. When I'm here by myself, I can do everything by myself. I got to entertain you beautiful people. I also got to deal with the social media. This one's going to be quick, though. Watch. Less than 5 seconds. Maybe that's not true, but I'm going to do my best. There you go. Around 5 seconds. But jumping from AJ to our first match of the night. Now, granted, this is where, for many people who are watching on the TNA app, I think everybody on the TNA app, this is where the problems arose. As we had the Hardys, the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, teaming with Elijah to take on Order 4's Mustafa Ali and the Great Hands in a 6-man tag match. It was around the Hardys' entrance. Oh, we'll get to it. Don't you worry. It was during the Hardys' entrance that the feed cut out for anybody watching on TNA Plus, and it was a bummer. I'm trying not to dwell on it because things happen, technical mistakes happen, technical difficulties happen, no matter the company. But it was just very unfortunate. So a good first half of this match was inaccessible to a lot of people. I was able to get into it pretty quickly, like I said, because I made the transition over to AMC. There you go. See, Maria said, I got it. I got regular cable, saw it. Nothing went wrong for you. That's great. It's everybody that was watching on the TNA app, unfortunately. It was just terrible timing. Everybody went online, myself included, Reddit, Twitter, everywhere that you can complain. We did. So it came back midway through the match, I believe, or very much near the end of the match. So, yeah, Chris Leclerc saying the same thing. Was watching TNA on AMC, so didn't have that problem. That's great. I'm glad that you guys didn't have to deal with it. But the match itself was fine. There's not really much to say. It was, I think, the way I clocked it, it was around 10 minutes. So many people probably lost like 5 minutes of the match. The finish coming with the Hardys getting the big win, Elijah taking out one of the Great Hands, and then the Hardys hitting their spots, Jeff hitting the Swanton. It was after this, while the three men were celebrating in the ring, that Agent Zero of Order 4 came from the ringside and hit a massive two-handed chokeslam onto Elijah. The rest of Order 4 begin to beat down the Hardys, and that's when the Righteous come out. The Righteous, who will be challenging the Hardys for the tag team titles this Saturday at Genesis. They make the save. Mustafa Ali calls back Agent Zero. It was interesting. Like, I've talked about it. I'm finally in. I finally bought in on Agent Zero, but he's just not a big guy. And then when you have Dutch in the ring, who is much bigger than him, and you have Vincent, who is roughly the same size, it undercuts the idea that this guy is supposed to be a massive monster. So it is what it is. The Righteous then help up the Hardys, and then Dutch hits a big sidewalk slam onto Matt. Jeff gets hit by something that Vincent was holding. I didn't see what it was, but he pulled it out of his pocket, hit Jeff with it. And then the same thing we see, I've seen too much of. If I never see this done again, it'll be okay. Vincent took a padlock and a chain and chained Jeff to the ropes with his earlobe, by his earlobe. Awful. Hate it. Never want to see it again. I know we've seen worse. AEW just had ear torture porn with Darby and Mox. We've seen Jeff's ear get twisted with a screwdriver in the past. I'm good, people. I'm good. Never again. Never again is too soon. But while Jeff is helpless to help, Vincent hits a pretty sweet swanton onto Matt, lands out of it perfectly to stare at Jeff, slides out of it perfectly. It was a really cool moment. On one hand, I am very glad that they finally just committed to the Righteous being heels. I don't know why they tried to make us think that there was a chance that they were faces. Like, I don't think anybody was buying it. And maybe that's why they just finally pulled the trigger ahead of it. Nobody was buying it. We all know that the Righteous are bad guys. And I think the other part of it, too, is that the Righteous weren't really getting good receptions from the crowd. I don't think the crowd really cared all that much. So I think the hope was with them going heel that they'd finally get a reaction. And they did, more or less. I know that there's a big contingent of the audience that just wants to get the tag titles off the Hardys and focus on younger teams. And I get that. But hello. Thank you for being here. But I think when you have a team that's just not catching on, you don't just throw the titles on them. Maybe down the line, I'd be fine with it. I think Vincent's a great talent. I think he and Dutch, as part of the Righteous, are a good team. There's just the crowd's not invested yet. And I think it's not going to be the good kind of heat if they take the titles off the Hardys right now. Maybe in a few months, or if they take it off of whoever takes it off the Hardys, sure. But right now, I don't think that's the way to go. Let's see what comments we got here. Wow, Chris saying that this is the first time they're watching TNA since 2013. That's awesome. Welcome back to the party. Welcome back to the club. I enjoyed tonight a lot. It left me, I don't want to say disappointed, but wanting more. I felt that they could have delivered a little more, but I think we're going to get that on Saturday. But we'll talk about it. But I'm so glad you're back. Maria saying Agent Zero sucks. I agree. I really agree. Maria saying we saw that double cross coming. Yeah, I think everybody did. I'm really interested to see if Elijah's going to get involved, because we've seen so much promotional stuff with him and the rest of the Righteous that came out in 2025 that just never happened. I was kind of expecting him to take part in the beatdown. And maybe that's why the Righteous came out and pushed off Agent Zero. Maybe that's the real reason. They wanted to protect Elijah, who had just gotten down. And we're going to find out about it. We'll see. But I think that's a very strong trio right there. That would get me a little more invested in them. Maria saying she loves the hardcore stuff too. I love the hardcore stuff too. I really do. The ear stuff is where I got to pull out. That's where I got to, no thank you. Sorry. Vincent is excellent on the mic. He is. He needs to, I think, slow down a little bit. But overall, he's very charismatic, and he's very engaging, and he's very mesmerizing. That's, I think, a good way of putting his promo style. He's mesmerizing. So hopefully it catches on soon. Maria saying the Rascals should have won the tag team championships a long time ago. Maybe they would have stayed. Well, the reality, Maria, is they are, I think, at least 2-time tag team champions. When it was the combination of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. But it's been a minute. It's been a while. And yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe them winning it off the Hardys would have been enough to sort of satiate them a little bit. But I don't think it has, me personally, I don't think it has to do with how they were treated booking wise. And this isn't a judgment thing for me. I think this has to do with pay. Because ultimately, and we talked about this a lot last night when we were covering their signing to AEW, they were booked very well in TNA up until the very end. Like, they were going over the system. They were going over Order 4. They were going over a lot of TNA talent that I'm sure TNA would not have wanted to happen if they were staying. I mean, if they were leaving. So it's interesting. I get it. I don't know what they could have done outside of giving one of them a shot at the world title and maybe like an actual win with it. But even then, it would have felt very forced and contrived. And I love every member of the Rascals, but I don't think maybe Desmond Xavier, but like it wouldn't have felt right. It would have felt just so out of nowhere. So it is what it is. I'm rooting for them in AEW now. I think it's TNA's loss is very much AEW's gain. But moving on, we're going to go. We had a quick backstage interview where Frankie Kazarian, the TNA World Champion, the self-proclaimed king of TNA, was with the hardest working woman in TNA, Mean Gia Miller. Gia was asking about, the gravitas, the gravity of tonight, this being such a big night. And Frankie stops her saying, this isn't a big night. This is the biggest night on TV. This is the biggest night for TNA. And he gets it. He's about to get into things with Santana when AJ Styles, his old friend, his old rival, comes up to him. Frankie's not having any of it. He says, what? I'm supposed to smile? I'm supposed to hug you? Maybe you should be saying thanks for the house. Oof, that was good. That was good. AJ then is very angrily looking at Frankie and then sets his sights on the TNA title. Don't tease that if you're not going to do it. I get it. Get the crowd excited. Don't tease it if you're not going to do it. It's oof. It would do wonders for TNA to have AJ win that title. But we'll talk. We then go in a very awkward segment. And I don't know. I know they had a full arena. I don't know why they recorded it the way they did, where they had Gia Miller ringside, introducing all the AMC celebrities and all the podcasters and influencers who were brought out. Shout out to a lot of people that I like watching, people like Minnie Portable, people like Wheezy Blonde. It was great seeing them get their flowers a little bit, be taken to the show, have a fun little segment for themselves, have a fun section for themselves. So congratulations to them. And then they get into the stars from AMC, from the various TV shows. And it's at this point, Ryan Nemeth comes out and Ryan gets in Gia's face about it, says that he's the only real star here. He gets in the faces of two of the stars from one of the AMC TV shows. Guys, I'm sorry. I wasn't really into who they were. I'm familiar with the actors, but I didn't really know what they were promoting. It's my bad. I'm not too much of an AMC watcher anymore. But Nemeth went to, he was getting in the face, poking the chest of one of the actors. The actor pushes him. Nemeth tries going over the barricade, and the other actor just drops him on his nuts right onto the barricade. It was great. And then pushes him to the floor. It was a fun little segment. I get it. The same way WWE does it with Netflix. This is TNA doing it with AMC. I get it. Make it feel like you're a big deal on the network. We then go back to the ring. Oh, look, we got some comments here. Maria saying AJ Styles is winning the TNA championship before he retires. I would love it. I don't know that it's as much a guarantee as some other people think it is. I think it would be a waste for him to not go back to TNA and have a match. Whether it's the TNA World title or whether it's the X Division title or whatever it may be, him doing something would have been great. I agree, Maria. Too many video packs. They were nice. They were nice to see. But the problem is, in a show that only had a couple of matches, and apparently they were really heavily hit by some travel issues, some visa issues, which we're going to get into, which just sounds ridiculous. But I don't know why you go this hard with the video packages. But we get to Santino Marella, who's in the ring, and he announces that it's been decided that he is going to have a fellow authoritative figure in the company, someone who has a lot of experience, someone who is known to the audience, and he brings out Daria Ray. Now, if you're not familiar with that name, don't worry about it. It is WWE's former Sonya Deville. Sonya comes out, gets a decent enough pop from the crowd, nothing major, but it was nice that she got something. They get into, Santino says he's excited to be working with her. He's excited to see what she's going to do. She thanks the crowd. She thanks Santino for everything he's done. That's it. It's through people like Santino's hard work who's gotten TNA to the point where it is now, which is why TNA doesn't need someone like Santino right now. They need order. They need control. They need someone who can keep things in line. And she says that is not Santino. She berates him quite a bit and then says she just signed her first knockout to the brand, and out comes Elena Black, formerly known as Cora Jade. Very surprised. This was a nice 1-2 punch for TNA. I don't know if Daria is just going to stay as an authority figure. I don't know if she ever plans on getting back into the ring. Cora Jade, Elena Black, as she's going to be known now. I thought she was done wrestling. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I heard that, or maybe I misinterpreted some news. But I know that she had stepped back from wrestling for a little bit, wasn't taking any bookings. So it was a very pleasant surprise to see her get this introduction. She's going to be a much needed shot in the arm to the Knockouts division. The Knockouts division, always historically one of the strongest booked women's divisions in all of professional wrestling. And they've been a little thin lately. So to have her come in, it's great. Definitely adding some juice to this division, and I hope she thrives there. It's something we've talked about here on the pod. That's kind of rough to see all these people that were fired from WWE go to TNA. Kind of just feels like, oh, I'm working for the same team, but probably for less money. But I'm choosing to focus on the positive. I hope she's happy here. I hope she's happy in TNA. And as Chris said, TNA needs to treat Elena Black better than WWE did. I don't think that's going to be too hard. And I think she could do a lot. Maria saying she's a huge steal and is going to be a blessing for the Knockouts division. But I think she's talking about Sonya there, or Daria, but also saying that Cora can't wrestle. Look, I think she is a fine enough wrestler, but she's a better character worker. And when you have a combination of those two, it can take you far. So as long as she's not phoning anything in and she's giving it her best, I'm willing to overlook her not being the greatest worker, because I think she's going to be good on the mic and she's going to be good at getting reactions from the crowd. So let's take the wins where we can get them. Even if she's not destined to be a Knockouts world champion, she's going to be. I do think she's somebody who can help make that division just fuller. So great work there from TNA getting those two to cross the line. We then go backstage where Santana is sitting down, preparing for his match for the world title later in the night. AJ comes in, says he doesn't even recognize Frankie Kazarian anymore, and he tells Mike to do what he does best, win. They hug it out, and Santana has a much needed, not needed, but a very positive boost to his confidence and resolve. So that was really cool. We then have our first title match of the night, as the TNA Knockouts tag team titles were on the line, as the Inspiration were defending against the Elegance brand. Now, before the match happened, the Elegance brand were in the ring with, of course, the Iceman himself, Ash by Elegance there. So she's still clearly with the company. I guess she can't wrestle anymore. I don't know what happened. I hope she's okay. I hope, like, she seems okay enough to be able to show up, but I guess she just can't work anymore. But I'm happy that they're keeping her around. They're there with Perez Hilton of all people. Okay, it took a lot for me to continue watching the segment, but it's fine. They then revealed the brand new Mr. Elegance. Now, this guy, I'm not sure who he was. I have a feeling he's somebody I should know from another company, maybe, but I'm not entirely sure. But this guy seems to really be filling the role well. Gorgeous himbo with a great bod. And I think he's going to fit in well with them, better than some of the alternatives that we were teased with in the past. But as this match goes underway, it's totally fine. I mean, no disrespect to the Inspiration. I mean, no disrespect to the Elegance brand. In this case, Heather and M by Elegance. But the match was just fine. The final minutes coming, the finish of the match coming with Jesse going for the pin, but getting that pin interrupted by the Iceman, or it might have been Mr. Elegance. She then goes to ringside to confront them. Brawl ensues. Cassie goes into the ring. She gets like chop blocked in the knee by Mr. Elegance, allowing, I think it was Heather by Elegance to get the roll up, get the pin. 1, 2, 3, new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Now, I know that the Inspiration are not there on a full deal. I think they've been on a handshake deal for some time. Unless they're leaving for WWE and not planning on working TNA at all, I don't know why TNA did this. No offense to the Elegance brand. They're young, they're up and coming. I get it. They're not over like that. They're not. Like with Ash in the helm, sure, but the two of them are not there right now as far as I'm concerned. The Inspiration are a proven act. They just won the tag titles at Bound for Glory back in October, and I feel like we just haven't had, and then when you consider that we were gone for a month plus, I just feel like they didn't have the tag titles for that long for it to be worth it. I don't know what this was. This was a mistake in as far as I'm concerned. I get wanting to have a title change on your first night on the show, but we're going to get into that later too. I would not have done this unless they're leaving, and maybe, or even if they're not 100% leaving, but they're afraid they're going to leave. Maybe TNA is just gun shy that anybody that isn't under contract can't hold the title right now. But bizarre. Let's go. Chris Leclerc saying Cora Jade is best friends with WWE superstar Roxanne Perez. Yeah, they are, and hopefully that leads to maybe some crossover. I doubt it, unfortunately, but I'm glad to see both women thriving in separate companies. Chris saying the Inspiration is officially done with TNA. That's why they lost the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team titles. That I thank you for, I guess, confirming that. I haven't seen an official report yet, but I believe you. That had to be it because it didn't make sense otherwise. I said it before with the signing of Cora Jade. The Knockouts division is not thriving right now, unfortunately. There's talent there for sure, but it is a smaller talent pool than it has been in years, if not ever. So the only way this would have made sense is if they were leaving. It's a bummer because now, like, the Knockouts pool, talent pool was low. The tag team title pool, even lower. So they just got 2 signings in the Knockouts division. That's great. They got to go harder. They got to look for talent. They really do. I don't know where they're going to find it. I don't know if they scoop up somebody that WWE's let go. I don't know if they scoop up somebody who wants to leave AEW or if there's just indie talent out there, but they need to sign some knockouts. They really do. Moving on, we then had a quick backstage segment with Stax, the TNA International Champion, and Ariana Grace. They talk about what they did to Santino a couple weeks back. They talk about what's coming for them. standard heel couple promo. It's nice to see Ariana flexing a different muscle. She's played the lovable, goofy daughter to Santino for a while on TNA television. This heel turn is, I don't want to say needed, but it's exciting to see from her. I want to take that title off Stacks as fast as possible, but I'm willing to give it a little bit of time. We then go backstage where Indy Hartwell is cutting a promo saying that ever since she lost her shot at the TNA Knockouts title, she's been a little directionless, and she plans on changing that. She wants to find a path back to gold. She is then interrupted by the Elegance brand, who mock her, saying, "Oh, of course you want to go after our titles now, don't you?" This leads to a match that will happen next week, where it will be Indy versus, I'm not sure if it's M or Heather, but she is facing a member of the Elegance brand. What up, Fernando? Welcome to the party. By the way, Maria already knows this, but now Fernando and Chris, I hope you're hearing this for the first time. Now that we teased a giveaway yesterday. I told you guys what it is. It is a TNA t-shirt, TNA ball cap, and a Jeff Hardy autograph. These are all still up for grabs. I've just extended the giveaway until Saturday after Genesis. So the fact that you guys are all watching now and all commented on this video, you have all been automatically entered into the competition and are up to win that prize pack. Fernando, see, I was saying that a little bit before too. I don't know that I would say I was disappointed with the show, but I can say that I was left wanting more. And my expectation is they plan on revealing or going big on Saturday for the pay-per-view, which in my opinion is a mistake. I don't know why they would have booked the pay-per-view 2 days after the debut of their show on a new network, and they plan on this being a fresh start. Feels a little silly to me, but there are so many names that were teased as possible debuts for tonight that didn't happen, or possible returns for tonight that didn't happen. And I don't know if that was just rumor that got too wild, but in general, this felt like it could have been more. It could have and should have been more. There were some highlights, but I feel like it was missing that big wow moment, which is sad considering the main event. But we'll get into that. Fernando saying this was one huge commercial instead of a wrestling show. I'm more inclined to agree with you, but one, that is now TNA under the WWE brand. That's just how it's going to be. And two, they do need to present themselves as a top tier product for AMC. I understand that, but I agree. It could have been a little heavier on the wrestling. Yep, only 3 matches. It's kind of bonkers. I unfortunately did not put a ticker for this next one, so I'm just going to talk about it briefly. We were supposed to be getting Lei Ying Lee versus Danny Luna at Genesis for the Knockouts World title, but due to visa issues, that Danny Luna cannot travel, and that match cannot happen at Genesis. So Lei Ying Lee is having an open challenge for it for Saturday. That open challenge was answered by NXT's Sol Ruca and Zarya. Sol Ruca gets on the mic and says how excited she would be to go after this, but she knows it's not her moment. It's Zarya's. Zarya is taken aback by this, but she gladly accepts and signs the contract. And on Saturday, we are getting Lei Ying Lee defending the Knockouts World Championship against Zarya, NXT's Zarya. So that should be a fun matchup. But again, it speaks to how razor thin the Knockouts division is right now, that they needed to go to NXT to get a suitable replacement for to be the number 1 contender for the Knockouts World title. It's a shame. So Fernando asking, how is she working this whole time without a visa before? I don't think she was. I think we're now in the new year. We're now in January of the new year. And I think it's possible. I don't know the logistics. I don't really know the details on how this works, but I'm assuming that with the new year, a lot of visas expired. and TNA probably just was not on top of keeping them going and renewing them and making sure everything moves smoothly. So it's a bummer. Again, this is speculation on my part. I can't confirm one way or the other, but we saw that this was a recurring issue throughout the night. I'll talk about another one that right here, where Cedric Alexander is backstage and he is greeted by Santino Marella, who tells him that he was supposed to have an X Division match at Genesis, but due to these visa issues, due to travel concerns, Leon Slater, the X Division champion, cannot defend and cannot be present at Genesis. He's still going to have a match. He's going to have a match against Moose and someone he didn't want to say the name of. Eventually, Cedric coaxes it out of him, and it is Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry making, I guess, what will probably be his final appearance for TNA, his swan song for TNA proper. And it appears to have affected Leon Slater as well. I think it's even sillier because Slater was on WWE's European tour. That was the main reason I heard that he wasn't there this week. But not great that your X Division champion isn't on your first show or on your pay-per-view. Very much a bummer. Very, very, very much a bummer. I think she has a ton of potential, Maria. I think Sol Ruca can be a generational women's wrestler, but I'm going to be a stickler. I know a lot of people were giving crap to Bandito for the 21 plex. I love her finisher because it is great to look at, but it is a very contrived finisher. It is a very convenient finisher to hit. So that's I think maybe she needs to get a new finisher, but I love her finisher now. So I'm a hypocrite, but that's the one thing I think that could potentially hold her back, but we'll see. Maria saying Joe Hendry has been doing nothing for a little while. He's stuck in the NXT vacuum of everything, and I know he's going to find his footing. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if with him, but it's a bummer. It is a bummer. I agree. Bandito does have a great finisher, and I think it's way less contrived than Sol Ruca's finisher, but I think they're both great in their own way. The Soul Crusher is amazing. It absolutely is amazing. It's very convenient how your opponent is got to be in the right place to hit it every time. That's all I'm saying. And I know that's all of wrestling, but hers just feels very specifically placed. Let's go to our next promo. We have the System. The System are on the ramp, on the entrance ramp. They are all wearing Dango shirts, which I thought was really cool. They talk about what's coming with the new year. They talk about getting ready to have a new member. And Dango takes the mic and says that next week he will be on Impact, definitely retired after his match with Eddie Edwards, where he will be the person who will reveal the newest member of the System, his replacement. He also tells Eddie that he loves him and Alicia. He has so much respect for his longtime friends, who they are as people, as parents, as professionals. And he says to him, do not hold back when we wrestle at Genesis on Saturday. I have a feeling there's something going up with this. I don't know. It feels like something is like too convenient with this story, but let's see how Saturday goes. We then had, guys, I never put commentary in these tickers. I just say what they are, and then I tell you about it after. I had to for this. TNA president Carlos Silva addresses the crowd and then brings out former TNA president Dixie Carter. Guys, woof. The crowd was booing this woman. I could say from the bottom of my heart, I was not expecting to see her on TV. Two, I do think that the fans are sometimes a little too hard on Dixie. I think that sometimes they blame her for everything that went wrong with TNA. And she made some bad decisions. She absolutely did. But I don't think it was for a lack of caring. I think it was for a lack of experience, a lack of knowledge, and a lack of wrestling wisdom. But I felt bad for her with this reaction. She was asking the crowd, like she talked about how it was 24 years since the debut of TNA, since the debut of Impact and everything. And can you believe it? Who here has been a fan for 24 years? All that stuff. Didn't matter. The crowd did not care. And it was hard. It was hard to listen to. It was hard to watch. Thankfully, mercifully, she is interrupted by Bully Ray. Bully Ray, who had been advertised to be on commentary for the main event, but still has a deep history with Dixie. He shakes hands with Carlos Silva, and then he gives Dixie, after a long stare down between the two, a big hug. Bully then makes his way down to commentary, and we are ready for our main event. Let's go to the comments real quick. Fernando saying beating Jericho at Mania will always be Dango's greatest moment. Absolutely. Absolutely. He had some great stuff with Tyler Breeze, but as a wrestler, his highest achievement absolutely was beating Jericho at WrestleMania. And for some people, that's enough. I like Dango, but it's probably he and Breeze, I don't think they ever won the tag titles. Arguably, they could have and should have during that era of SmackDown, but it's a nice feather in your cap no matter what. Fernando saying this was a spit in the face of the TNA fans. And Maria saying she deserves everything she got. Do I know all the bad decisions she's made? Absolutely. Absolutely. She let the Fox into the henhouse on several occasions with Vince Russo giving so much power to Hogan and Bischoff. So many things. I get it. I get it. But there was also a long time where she was the person who was keeping TNA afloat through sheer will and financial backing. I'm not excusing her. I'm not. So don't think I'm a Dixie Carter apologist, although I actually do have a personal history with her where she was very kind to me. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. And the reality of the matter is, yes, Dixie needed to go when she did. And quite frankly, she probably needed to go even earlier. It was still sad to see her just get booed. At least personally, it was sad to see her get booed. But Bully saved it, and I think that'll probably be the last we see of her. Maybe ever again in terms of TNA. Fernando saying Bully should have put her through a table. I think once was enough. She's I know he's putting older women through tables, but I think she might be a little too old and untrained to take a bump like that. But now, on to our main event. We have the TNA World Championship on the line as Frankie Kazarian defends against former champion Mike Santana. Won't lie, we've all been rightly critical of the fact that TNA only put on 3 matches tonight for Impact. It's a bummer. It should have been more, but this match was great. This match was very, very good, very high octane. And the finish, it upsets me. Let's just say it. I'm very happy Mike Santana is now once again the TNA World Champion. I can also say he should have never lost the World Championship. He should have been World Champion coming into tonight. I'm very happy for Frankie Kazarian, who finally got to have a run with the TNA World title. He's been killing it since his return to TNA, his departure from AEW, and his return to TNA. He's been killing it for TNA. And he should have won the title in his original run 20-something years ago. But I understand why it didn't happen, but I'm happy he had this run now, but it shouldn't have been at Santana's expense. Mike Santana winning after hitting 2 spin the blocks, one that Frankie kicked out of. Frankie then tried hitting one on Santana. Santana's able to block it. Santana then hit one final spin the block. 1, 2, 3. Mike Santana is our TNA World Champion. It's nice, but it just felt like okay, we've been here already. You know, I had my moment already. He didn't get the moment he should have had at Slammiversary because they wanted to do it at Bound for Glory. They did it at Bound for Glory and then didn't have him on TV. Didn't have anybody on TV. They didn't have TV for a whole month. And then they had him lose it on his first night defending the title. I'm happy he won it again. I in 5 years' time, I'm going to do my best to just memory wipe these couple of months away because it just feels super contrived and super unnecessary. But Mike Santana is our TNA World Champion, and he will be defending the title on Saturday. The wording was very confusing, but I believe he will be defending the title against Kazarian in a rematch, which is silly in its own right, but whatever. I think I am not alone in saying many of us expected to see somebody come in at the end, whether it was, I know there have been a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation that EC3 would be coming back to the company. Or, again, a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation about it debuting Chris Jericho. Something would have been nice. I feel terrible saying it because this should just be a happy moment for Mike Santana. But the reality is it's just a repeat. It's a repeat of something we already got a few months ago. So it's hard to have the same emotional impact. We know what he's been through. We know what he's had to overcome to get back here. That's great. Been there already. And that's not to say I have a problem with multiple time champions. I do. I like multi-time champions. But this was TNA's big moment on TV, and it's just a repeat of what they already got. Feels a little weak. Maria saying TNA better not TNA this weekend and take the title from Santana. I am inclined to agree with you. I think the only person who could theoretically come in and take that title off of him would be someone like Jericho. But I don't know that TNA would do that again. I do think there's money in a Santana versus Jericho feud, given their history, their camaraderie in AEW. But one that is dependent on Jericho actually coming to TNA. And even then, I don't think I want Santana to lose. Not right out the gate like this. So I hate to be that guy, but we're going to have to let it play out, and we'll see what happens come Saturday. But guys, this has been Impact. This has been TNA on AMC. I enjoyed what I watched. I just wish it was more fulfilling. This was a very much a sizzle kind of show. There was a lot of sizzle, but not a lot of substance. There was some, like I said, I keep saying it, there was some enjoyable stuff. There was some good moments, some good wrestling, especially in that main event between Santana and Kazarian. But I think it was a mistake to have Genesis 2 days later, because I feel like that's where their priority was, which is a weird mistake. But we're here, got to move on, got to move past it. That's it, guys. I am so sorry that I feel low energy, but I just really am. I'm exhausted. I thank you guys so much for being here with me on this first night of TNA on AMC. As I've said, the giveaway is continuing through the weekend. So at this point now, Fernando, Maria, and Chris Leclerc have all been added to the giveaway pool. So you guys will hear soon who the winner is, either Saturday night or Sunday sometime during the day. Thank you so much for being here. I don't want to say AJ was the only good thing. Like, I'm glad Santana won. I am, and I'm happy to see Sonya Deville and Elena Black. But yeah, there needed to be more surprises. There needed to be more of a, here we are on night one. Get ready. It's going to be a wild ride. Maria asking, why am I by myself for Impact reviews? That's a great question. I'm not the only TNA fan. I'm definitely the biggest TNA fan in the pod, but it's more scheduling for everybody than anything. Rev is pretty much married to the NFL, and Thursday Night Football will forever have a grip on his soul. Nick M is out of town, as he is on a lot of occasions. Matt comes in from time to time, but he doesn't keep up with TNA all that much. So this is pretty much my little corner of the podcast. But speaking of other corners of the podcast, as you guys have seen, Danny and Eric have been killing it with their content. They're recording every Sunday and releasing on Monday, so that's always fun. Good chance I might be there on Sunday. If not, my debut on their segment will be next week. But you know the deal. we're here pretty much every night of the week that we can be. Matt does Monday Night Raw. Me and Rev do Wednesdays for Dynamite. I do TNA Thursdays. We have pay-per-views coming up. I'll be doing Genesis on Saturday. We'll be doing the Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks on, I think it's the 31st. So just stick with us. Some fun stuff is coming. Will I be doing a post show for the pay-per-view? Yes, that's the plan. I will be doing Genesis. Unless something out of my control happens, I will be here with you guys if you're here with me. You know the deal. If you're one of our regulars like Maria or Chris or Fernando, thank you so much for sticking with us. We really appreciate you guys. Things are getting bigger. I think you guys can see it. Things are getting a little bit bigger. If you're new to us and you're checking us out for the first time, thank you so much for coming. And as always, check us out everywhere. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, wherever I might have missed, you know where we are. Check us out there. And of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I am exhausted, on the verge of passing out. I love you guys. Have a great night. TNA, good start. Got to push hard. Let's push hard. Everybody, thank you so much. And I will see you on Saturday. Later, everybody.